In today's video, we're taking a look at how to install an Intex pool pump filter on a non-Intex pool. Easy and simple. Everything that we use on the video, we're going to leave a link on the description. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. That does help us out a lot. Thank you. So you woke up today and went to see your pool. You saw it's not clean, or the pump died again, or you found a good deal and said, let me jump ship and let's go with the competitor. Don't worry. Here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. A ferry ride, then a small boat, and then a helicopter away, but a back is a back. And today we're going to use the Intex Crystal Clear 2500 filter pump for the installation. But no matter which Intex pump you use, the technique will be the same. One of the few parts that we're going to need for this install is a large inlet air nozzle, which with this particular pump, it comes included in the kit. If you're using a different pump and it does not come with these accessories, you can also buy them as a kit together or separately. An optional part that we're going to add to our installation is the pool plunger valve, and we like to add this to the installation because instead of the old way, like in the summer waves pool, that you have to cap off the inlet and the outlet every time that you want to replace the filter or clean it. With these valves, you can close it and open it whenever you want. You can choose to put one or two. In our case, we're doing two. Our next part that we're going to need is an Intex hose conversion adapter B kit, and you can buy this individually or in a pair. Our next part is going to be a flexible PVC coupling with stainless steel clamps, which is 1.25 inches on one side and 1.25 inches on the other side. Another optional adapter that we're going to use for this assembly is the Summer Waves filter hose reducer adapter from 1.5 inches to 1.25 inches. And next we have the SFX seal plate, which is the one that we're going to use because we're upgrading from an SFX pool pump filter to this one. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to take our hose conversion adapter B kit and disassemble it. Next, we're going to take our Summer Waves filter hose reducer adapter and install it tightly on one side. And we want to make sure that it is completely in. Next, we're going to take our flexible PVC coupler and install it on top of the hose reducer adapter. In your case, you may need to loosen the clamps to be able to insert it. Always remember the ancient rule passed down generation to generation of lefty loosey, righty tighty. Once it's in and we notice it won't go in any further, we want to tighten it tight, but at the same time, hand tight. Remember, you don't want to overdo it. We know you have the strength of many humans at the same time, but remember, at the end, everything's plastic. The last thing you want after going through all that work is a leak. And going from the king, queen, both or none of your castle to no castle and no kingdom. And remember, all the parts that we use on today's video, we're going to leave a link on the description. Also, if you want to check out our video on the Intex Crystal Clear 2500 gallons per hour pump full review and installation, you can check out that video's link on the description of this video as well. And the first thing that you want to do is turn off and disconnect your old pump, because the last thing you want on a clear sunny day is to die, to go from a happy DIYer to barbecue. And now that we filled your brain with inventory information, we're ready to get a tan. And what we noticed that works best and easiest is bringing down the level of the water under the inlet and the outlet of the pool. Now comes the second fork on the road. And this is where we chose to leave the SFX pump connected to the pool. Meanwhile, we service it. And this is a lot easier if you have a Watson helping you. But you can also remove the SFX pump and then place it back again. So just like plumbing, having a bucket goes a long way. Not only catches water, but it can also catch any pieces that want to run away. The first thing that we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and loosen and remove the clamps and hoses to give way to the new ones. And if you notice, the old ones have plastic clamps, but the new one has metal clamps, which are going to help with the extra power that the new pump will push. And remember, a pro tip, like any DIY job, saving the parts for the future always saves money on replacement parts. So don't throw away the hoses or clamps. Next, we're going to remove our catcher and filter. If your filter is still good, just a little rinse and you can reuse it another time. And now we've come to the third fork on the road. You can choose to leave your old pump in its place, or like we're going to do, we're going to choose to place the seal plate instead. So if you chose to leave your old pump connected to the pool, this is where an extra help like Watson comes in. Either meanwhile Watson holds on to the pool pump so it won't move, or your other hand will start to remove the bottom cap that holds the pump in place. You're gonna notice some markings, which is gonna let you know to what side you loosen and to what side you tighten. But always remember, a pro tip, lefty loosey, righty tighty. We go ahead and pass the cord through the screw ring, making way for our seal plate. You're gonna notice a marking on the seal plate that you do wanna align with the pump housing before we go ahead and screw the cap back. And the good thing about removing the pump, it's going to create a clear and free water passage. Now we're ready to proceed to remove the wall fitting set return assembly. And we're basically going to start from the inside of the pool and work our way outward. And remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And the technique is just removing everything until you just get to the bare bones of the pool. So just like when you were a kid, disassembling everything, this is now the time to reminisce. Now we're going to go ahead and twist off our hose connector adapter. But remember, you're an adult now, so no missing pieces or things built back with pieces left over is the goal. Now that we have the hose adapter off, we can go ahead and remove the ring that holds the assembly. Now you've done it, grasshopper. You removed water from the pool, costing you money. Now you have a hole in your pool. That means we're in a good track. But don't worry, here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. Now we're gonna take our adjustable pool inlet jet nozzle assembly and disassemble it. If you notice the trend, we're basically going for the world record for most parts on a job. And remember, we don't leave any parts behind. And what we want to get to is to the O-ring. And we need this ring of fire because if you notice, the old hole is smaller than our new connection. So we're going to use this O-ring to trace out a circle. You can use a pen, pencil, permanent marker, and basically trace the circle as best as you can. The only thing that you want to make sure is that you stay within the double liner part of protection. That if you look closely on the liner, you're going to notice a bigger patch circle than the hole or the O-ring that you're going to use. This basically means that your liner is thicker on these parts. That's why we want to stay within that parameter. And now we get to the part of the video where you test your cutting skills. You can either use a box cutter or some scissors. No matter which technique you use, first you want to use safety. Second, you want to go slowly because the last thing you want is to be known as the one that broke the pool. But as you can see, and as we like to do on the StatUpBox team, show worst case scenario, this circle is looking more like a square than anything. But you're going to notice it's still going to work. So that means you don't have to be perfect because remember, the O-ring is bigger than the hole itself. So once pressure is created, the water is not going anywhere. Now that our pool has lost value and any kind of warranty has been voided, we're ready to insert the inlet nozzle receiver from the inside of the pool. We want to make sure that the O-ring is inserted, and the O-ring can be inserted from the outside of the pool or the inside. We've noticed really no difference, but we like to have it on the inside. We feel it gives it more protection. As you can see, even with our wobbly circle cutout, it's still a tight fit. And we want to make sure that our hole for our air valve is pointing up. So now, no matter if you chose to have the O-ring in the inside of the pool or the outside of the pool, we're going to go ahead and install our twisting ring nut back into our receiver. And this is the part that you want to make sure that you tighten well, because this is what's going to avoid any water coming out. And remember the ancient rule of righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Now we're ready finally to install our plunger valve. We want to make sure that we have the O-ring inside of our connection, and we're ready to align and twist and tighten all at the same time. As you can see, everything is coming together. We're ready to install our secondary air valve on the top. We can go ahead and place the cap. We're ready to finish it off by installing inside of the pool the adjustable inlet jet nozzle. nozzle. And you can start putting a smile on your face because you're almost there. It's looking closer and closer like somebody else's pool. Now we're gonna take this gadget and take it to our Summer Waves filter pump empty housing. We're gonna install it on the connector. We're basically going to slide it in all the way. Once we feel it's all the way in there, then we can go ahead and tighten. And you can usually do this with a flathead screwdriver or a hex head screwdriver. No matter which device you use, the technique will be the same. Let's say if you're not installing this on a Summer Waves pool, then basically what you're going to do on your inlet where your pump filter receives the water, we're going to install an Intex replacement connector or strainer if in your particular pool can't be connected directly. If they're able to be replaced without making the hole, you can just replace it using reverse engineering. If you have to make the hole like this connection, you can do that as well using the same technique. And now we're ready to start installing our Intex filter pump. What you always want to make sure is that your hose connector has this flat strainer rubber washer on the inside of each connection. In our particular case, we're going to start where the water comes into the pump. We're going to make sure that it's tight and doesn't move so we can have a tight, secure connection. And remember, if you're using two valves, after the B adapter, you can install the valve and then the hose. But remember, this is optional. If installing the valve, we like to place a rope on the valve side, so this would help prevent any leaks in the future. Even though without the rope, we don't have any leaks as well on the connection. We're going to connect our other hose to this outlet, always remembering to have the washer placed on the inside of the hose connector. We want to make sure that we tighten and that nothing is loose. In your particular case, it may be connected directly to the air jet connector, or in our case, we have the on and off valve before the air connector. So no matter if you have a direct connect or not, the technique is the same. Now that our both hoses is one connected to the inlet and the other one connected to the outlet, we're ready to connect it to the pump. We're gonna first start with the side of the hose where the water comes into. We want to make sure that we have our washer both on our pump and our hose connector. Then we're going to tighten our connector down and make sure that it's tight. We don't want to over tighten. Remember, everything is plastic. And the last thing you want is to have to buy a new part when you just bought the whole system. And now next, we're going to install the other hose where the water comes out too. And that one goes connected on the side where the filter is at. Once again, we want to make sure that both the pump and the hose connector have their washers. Always remember when tightening to use both arms for an even pump. And now you've done it. It's installed. You want to get your wallet back from out the window, turn back on the water, fill the pool level to above the inlet and outlet, or according to your pool's marking. But a pro tip, just to cover the inlet and outlet is the way to go, because like that we can do a test run without having to fill the pool all the way up. In case we have a leak, you don't have to take your wallet again and throw it out the window. If you have an on and off valve, you want to open it or turn it on so the water can rush into the pool pump. And now comes a crucial step on the installation. We want to release all the air from inside the pump. We don't want to run the pump with air on the system. This may cause an early death to your pockets as well. Once we see water coming out and no more air, you're ready for the next step, and that is connecting your GFCI switch to an outlet, turning on the pool pump, grabbing an ice cold bubbly liquid gold bottle of water, and admiring your work. And now you've done it. You become a black belt and pool installation pump systems of your block. If you want to check out other pool videos, we'll leave links on the description. Don't forget, if you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section below. Either someone on the StatUpBox team or someone on the YouTube community can help you out with an answer. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Thank you for watching, and here's a link to our latest video.